So hey everybody, today's video is a curly hair tutorial. I'm going to show you exactly how I style my curly hair. Explain to you all the products I use, the tips, the techniques, everything I do to get my hair to look just like this. Now I washed and dried my hair about an hour and a half ago, and the magic weapon is these root clips, these curly hair clips. So I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I do it. So I hope you stick around. If you know somebody that has curly hair, please feel free, share my video. I would love to help all the curly haired girls out there because I know it can be a struggle to find the products that work with your hair, the techniques. It just really is trial and error. And this is what I've come up with, so I'm excited to share it with you. Links to everything that I use in my hair, all of my curly hair favorites are down in the description box. So here we go. Let's get going. So on my wash days, which is every 3 to 4 days, I use my favorite shampoo and conditioner. This is my go-to. This is what I've been using for years. And every time I try to find a new shampoo and conditioner, I always come right back to this one. This is my go-to. Every time I try to experiment with a new shampoo and conditioner, I always come right back to the Matrix. It is very moisturizing, but it does not weigh down my curls. It doesn't leave residue. It's sudsy. It is all the things that I love. So every time I wash my hair, tons of shampoo and tons of conditioner. And I use just like 20 pumps of this thing, and I just rake it through my hair until my fingers can just glide through my hair super easy. Then I use Briogeo Don't Despair Repair Deep Conditioning Mask. I use this every time I wash my hair, and I just take a little scoop with my fingers and I run it through from the ears down. I don't get it on the roots, I don't get it on my scalp, I don't get it on the front right here. It's definitely on the thicker side, and I find that if I put it on my whole head, it can weigh my hair down, but my curly ends and all of this down here loves this. So I use it every time I wash my hair. And when all of this conditioner is in my hair, I use a wide tooth comb and I comb it all through. So the conditioner sits in my hair while I'm washing and shaving my legs and doing all the things. So it's in there a minute or two, and that's it. I rinse it out about 95%. I do not rinse my hair out squeaky clean. It is still a little bit snotty when I get out of the shower. So now that you've seen my hair looking good in the intro, because I couldn't start my video looking like a hot mess with wet hair, right? Now I'm going to take you back to when my hair is wrapped up, and I'm going to start putting the product in it and show you exactly how I style it. And then I'll meet you right back here. So now that I've showered, washed, and conditioned my hair, while I was getting dressed and putting on lotion and doing all the things, I always wrap my hair in one of these microfiber hair towels. It just keeps my hair moist. It's off my shoulders. I can do all my things. But now I'm going to put in my hair product. And so I stick my head back in the shower and I'm going to soak my hair. Like when I'm in the shower, I fill up a little bottle with warm water. So I'm actually going to bend over, pour all of that water on my hair so it is dripping, and I'm going to put in my 2 hair products. So the first one is Bounce Me. This is a curl balm, and I put this all over my hair. So when I was in the shower and I had my conditioner in my hair before I rinsed it out, I comb the conditioner through with this really wide tooth comb, and then I rinse my hair, and I never comb or touch my hair again. I don't rake my fingers through it. Even when I'm putting in product, I never pull my fingers through my hair. For me, it makes my hair separate and it gets really frizzy, and I have a hard time making curl clumps. So once I do this in the shower, never again. That's it. So when I'm putting the product in my hair, I'm going to do 1 big squirt of this, and I just scrunch it in all over my hair. I will put it and do like praying hands and pull it through sections of my hair, but I'm always doing that and scrunching. I never rake my fingers through my hair. So I'll do 1 big pump of this kind of all over, and then I'll do a smaller pump and really get inside and do it on the crown of my hair. Then I will take my Curls Rock Amplifier, which this is one of my favorite products ever. I'll take one pump of this and I put it from the ears down. I don't get it on my roots. I don't really get it on the front of my hair. I'll kind of focus it on the ears down, but of course I'm hanging upside down when I'm doing this. So it's going to get on the back, it's going to get on the ears down. I'll scrunch it in really, really good, and I may take just a couple little swipes around the hair around the front of my face. That's it. I'm going to stand up. You'll see me just like this again, and then I'll show you exactly how I style my hair. And then here we are. So I look like a hot mess, but I put that microfiber towel around my neck just to keep the wet hair because it drips all over me. And then I put another little towel around my shoulders until I finished kind of doing what I need to my hair. So I do a couple little things. I have very wet hands and a Denman brush. And I need to tell the hair around my face which direction to go, because if I don't, it will make its own decision and it will be wrong. So I just brush this one little piece and I roll it up my finger and then slowly unroll it just to give it some direction. So you can see I'm just getting a little piece right here, one brush to get the knots out and get it flat. And then I roll and uncoil. That's all. And I do about 5 or 6 little strands here around my face. And that is it. So this little finger coiling method, I know takes some practice, but it works so well. If you just twist it around your finger, to me, it just makes my curls end up straight in the end. So the finger coiling gives me so much more control. So you can see that. Look how cool that is. So I'm going to do just a couple right over here. I've kind of like, see, this is a twist, right? And that's fine right there. I'll do a couple of those. But I have a crazy curl pattern right here, like a cowlick. So I want to make sure that I'm telling this hair where I want it to go for sure. Okay, so you can see I've got this all going back. The rest of it is just where it's going to go, and then I'm going to scrunch these to make sure I didn't pull any curl out. And right here over my ears, see how it just gets really frizzy? I will kind of pull that together just to make it clump together just a little bit. And that's kind of it. I want to take this microfiber towel off because it's suffocating. And then I have crazy hair right here at the nape of my neck. I do have to kind of pull that together. And I'll just do this to make it stick together. I'm just forcing it into clumps. That is all the fixing I'm going to do. So if I have some really, really drippy pieces, I'm going to take my microfiber towel and just lightly get off the drips. Nothing drastic. And now it's time to dry. So I'm going to dry my hair with my favorite hair dryer. It has this huge diffuser. I'm going to kind of hover dry on low for just like a minute or two, and then I'm going to start picking up sections and cupping them to my head with hotter heat, and then I'm going to flip upside down and I basically dry my hair 85–90% completely upside down, and then we're going to get into the curl clips. I know this is what y'all are dying to see. I use 3 of them and I've got them here on the countertop ready to go, but I got to get my hair dry first. If you put these clips in when your hair is wet, like my hair would never dry. The roots would just stay so saturated. So I've played around when it is the best time to put these in, and for me it's when my hair is 85% dry. I clip them in, dry it the rest of the way, and the lift, the hold, the control I get is unmatched. I have never found anything like this before. Well, before I do that, let me show you what I've got, what the back of my hair looks like. This is just totally wet hair, soaking wet actually, but that's what it looks like all around. And now I'm just going to hover dry and do exactly what I told you I was going to do. The point of the hover drying is it's really not drying my hair. It's kind of giving the product I put in my hair a chance to kind of calm down and set in place. Because I feel like if I were to just flip my head over immediately with really, really wet hair, the product is like, we don't know what we're supposed to do. So this just gives it a little bit of heat, a little bit of air, and a little bit of time to kind of figure out what it is meant to do. And then I'll flip and it knows what it's supposed to do and it takes hold. So my hair's not drippy anymore. I can get rid of this. And whew, that's my favorite part. I love taking that off. So now I'm just going to grab sections, pull it up to almost my scalp, and I'm going to be on high heat just to try to dry the roots a little bit first, because once I turn my hair over, it's just kind of hard to get in all the places. So I want to dry the roots a little bit, then we're going to flip and dry everything. Okie dokie. It is, I'm going to go 75%, 80% dry. This is the crazy mess that I have. Let me bring y'all down so you can see better. I am just going to, the hair that belongs over here, I'm going to just very, very gently kind of bring it down. I don't want to disturb anything or make frizz. You can see this is going over here. It's fine. Let me take a look around and see what the back looks like. So I've got curls. I've got a really big defined curl pattern right there. Totally fine. We're going to fix that. But the general overall shape is good. So this is what it looks like. We'll call it 75% dry. So now what I want to do is use these crazy wonky curl clips. Look how huge these are. There's a reason for this, but let me show you how I put these in my hair. I'm going to do 3 clips. The first one I'm going to do is the front. So instead of grabbing what's going to go this way and then what's going to go this way and making a separation, I grab this whole section and I just pull it back like I'm going to put a barrette in it almost. Crunch it forward, and then I take this huge clip, open it all the way up, and grab, and it's going to lift just like that. That is exactly what I want it to do. So the other one I want to do right here, and you want to work, for me, it's easiest to work from the front back. So I want to take this section. You can see how it's wanting to go toward my face. That's just my natural pattern. I want to take this section and do sort of the same thing. Pull it back, crunch it forward, open wide, and put in a clip. And then I'm going to do one more right back here because I have this big curl pattern. My hair like wants to split open and show my scalp. So I'm going to try to avoid that. So I'm going to take another piece. Let me see if I can do this from the back. I want to take pieces from both sides, pinch them together, lift them up to kind of make like a bump there. Open wide and clip. So this is what I have, all these clips in my hair. And I know it looks crazy and it looks like there's no rhyme or reason to this. And if you get these clips, you just have to play around, honestly, with where to put them. It took me a lot of tries to figure out this was my placement, but I don't even know how to tell you how to figure it out. You just have to play with it and figure it out. But the reason these are so huge is because you can pop them open and get them out of your hair without disturbing your hair. If you get a clip that is too small and you have to get in your hair to get it out, I always mess up my curls. I end up pulling hair, making frizz. I know when these arrived the first time, I was like, whoa, I do not need a curl clip that huge. But now I am so glad that they are this big. So now I want to finish drying my hair. I'm going to turn my hair dryer back on hot heat, and I'm going to hold the hair dryer as close as I can to the clips and try to get heat in here. So these clips are made with holes all on the side so that the air can get in and continue to dry your hair. Actually, having the curl clips up, which exposed all of this underneath hair, because this never wants to dry for me, makes it so much easier to access this hair and to get it dry. So I can dry all this, I can come from the underneath and dry all the roots from the hair on the back, which honestly is still really wet. Like you can see, this is totally saturated. So I'm just going to spend the next 3 or 4 minutes getting the rest of my hair 100% dry. So my hair is mainly dry. I mean, I've got a couple little damp areas, no big deal, but I'm going to go eat lunch. I'm going to put my makeup on. I'm going to get dressed, and I'm going to leave my hair up in these clips as long as possible until I need my hair done. I might leave them up there. Sometimes it's just 20-30 minutes. Sometimes it's like 2 hours. I will forget that they're in my hair, but the longer you leave them in there, the more lift and all the things you get, and you will not believe when I take these out. Like, that is when the magic happens. So I'll see you in a little bit. My hair has been up in these clips about an hour. I ate lunch, I put on my makeup, got dressed, you know, did a round. My hair is basically, I'm going to call it 98% dry. I've got a couple little sections in here that may be a bit damp, and some of the hair inside these clips may also be a smidge damp. So I'm going to take them down and show you how amazing my hair looks, and then we'll get out the hair dryer, and if we have to dry any of those last little remaining spots, it'll just happen in a cinch. So I want to give y'all the full view. Here's my hair in the clips. Been like this for over an hour. I have not touched them since you all saw me last. So the reason these clips are so great, see how these little finger things stick up? I can easily grab a hold of these and just open them up. And look, my hair just stayed right there. See, super, they're huge and have these big teeth on them that cross like that. And then these are the air holes so that you can dry your hair through them and have these big sturdy clips. So these actually come in a 6-pack, and they're random colors. Why? I don't know, but they just are. But they're very inexpensive. So you can see how my hair just stayed right there. And I am just going to just kind of let my hair naturally fall. I'm not going to shake it out. I want to keep the lift and the height that the root clips gave me. So let me show you what it looks like in the back. So here's the back. Just tons and tons and tons of volume. So in the past, I used to be so concerned about the hair around my face. Did it have the proper curl? Making sure that the overall shape of my hair was perfect, I guess. So I would use a curling iron and heat to try to achieve what was basically, you know, not a natural curly hair look. And so I was damaging my hair. The curling iron was making my very light color and white colored hair discolored. And so I just have had enough of that. It was taking too much time. I was worrying about it too much. And I found that these root clips just give me the direction that I need, and just, I'm trying to embrace the crazy, if you will. I'm trying to embrace what my natural curls want to do without me spending more time and heat to force them to do something that they don't want to do naturally. So I'm just going to kind of fluff this up just a little bit. And honestly, up in here, Sometimes it can be still a little damp. It is completely dry. So I'm not going to worry about any of this hair down here. I'm just going to kind of just lightly kind of crunch it, even though my hair is not crunchy, do that kind of crunching motion and go with it. I will kind of lift and puff this a little bit to try to disguise that curl pattern because it does get really crazy just because I had one clip in and not two. But you can see, like, look how good all of this looks. I have a great shape to my hair, overall shape. I have a lift up here. My curls look really good throughout the whole back of my hair, and this side looks fabulous. Now, every day my hair looks a little bit different. I do have one wonky something happening right here, but honestly, if I just kind of stick my fingers up in there and get that hair kind of entwined with the rest of my hair, it'll stay put. So this is it. I'm not going to do anything else to my hair except for maybe spritz it with just a dash of hairspray, and I mean a dash. Hairspray can really kind of just weigh my hair down, not necessarily today, but on day 2 and 3 hairspray can just make it kind of So I'm just going to lightly spritz and just kind of put my fingers up in it. And it's mainly just to get my hair to stay where it is, to stick to the other hair and stay where it is. So yes, when you look at me right now, my hair is pretty big. Honestly, in about an hour, it will settle down just a little bit, but I love this look. I grew up in the 80s. I'm a girl who loves big hair. I can rock a big hairstyle, and I think this is fabulous. So it'll look better as time goes on, but the great thing is about these, I didn't use heat to do it. I didn't have to spend extra time to do it. These little clips did all the work for me, and tomorrow and even the next day, I will still have this great lift and control, which is fabulous in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed my curly hair tutorial. All of my favorites and everything I use on my hair will be linked down in the description box. So if you want to get something for yourself, you absolutely can. If you know somebody who has curly hair and you think this video would be helpful, please share it on. See you later.